folks, I want to welcome you here. This is the September 17th meeting of Citizens Climate Lobby Hawaii, a statewide coalition of Hawaii chapter, Maui chapter, Honolulu chapter, and the Big Island of Hawaii. We have an interesting agenda here, and it's on the screen right now, so we're going to do a welcome and connection before content. As we usually do, we'll talk about our values, our missions, and our policy agenda. And there'll be a brief review of CCL's monthly national call, and there'll be a link in the chat. Thanks to our chat expert, Virginia Tincher, who's going to, when we get there, put that link in the chat. So you'll be able to listen to the monthly call, which was very informative. There'll be national updates and actions, and there'll be a Hawaii update, carbon cashback, media, and events. So that's a little overview. And this one right here, we are going to suggest that maybe you would like to share whatever your favorite Sunday event is. Right? What do you like to do on Sunday? And Sunday brunch, Bruce says. Yeah, I like that.
I like that because my husband makes it.
Oh, okay. And Helen likes to walk the dog. Doug likes to swim. Bill likes to ride his bike. Bill, let me ask you, how's your fundraising thing going with your fundraising for Citizens Climate Lobby?
Thanks for asking. It's going pretty well. I set a crazy goal of trying to raise $25,000. I'm at about just under 7,000, and trying to get in shape for the ride. It's kind of a challenging ride for me. Trying to get so I can actually handle the 11 to 12 hours that day that I'll ride. So
wow.
I guess.
And yeah, and you've probably been following the race across America. I hope it's not as bad as that, or as difficult as that.
Well, it's just one day, so I got that going for me. But
yeah.
I haven't been following the race across America, actually. But.
Yeah, it's people are, it's, I think it's finished right now. And others said, can I see my chat? Yes, I can. I think Keith is going to spend it with friends, and Noel likes the CCL Leaders Call every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Thank you, Noel. You're a champion, a true hardcore champion. Yeah, I like to go to Carl Smith Beach Park and swim on Sunday morning. It's so beautiful. There's an offshore yellow rock reef that protects about 200 yards of clean, beautiful, sandy bottom water for swimming. So we've got good activities going on there. And then maybe we'll say, who the heck are we? And who is going to talk to that?
It is I.
Piece? Oh, come on in.
Ruth, and I am in Hilo. And aloha, everyone. So you can see our core values. We know what they are: focus, optimism, diversity, relationships, integrity, being nonpartisan, and expressing our personal power. And I will highlight today diversity because Karina is with us here today. So with respect to diversity, we empower everyone in exercising their personal and political power, regardless of race, ethnicity, nationality, gender, sexual orientation. age, religion, ability, or political affiliation. We continue to bring awareness of important issues to all our volunteers and foster a sense of belonging to our organization. And to find out more about CCL's diversity and inclusion trainings, programs, and support, stay tuned to this meeting.
Excellent. Thank you.
So, CCL, our mission, our Citizens Climate mission, and we do that to create the political will for a livable world by empowering individuals to experience breakthroughs in exercising their personal and political power.
Indeed, we do. Yes. Thank you. And then policy agenda. Okay, that looks like it could be me. So I think the team here knows pretty much our policy agenda. What I could say is that it's always been, almost since the beginning, carbon fee and dividend. The policy up on the top left, I don't need to explain anything about that to this group. Expanded into 4 total policies, building electrification, clean energy, electricity, healthy forests, which is top of mind right now, and clean energy permitting reform, also top of mind. And let's see, there is a couple of items in the chat there. CCL had, do we need that? Yeah, these are things that are important. CCL has...
I didn't know if you want them in the chat, but they were in your notes.
Yeah, put them in the chat, Virginia,
all right,
please.
They're in the chat.
Okay, thank you. The thing that's kind of new for Citizens Climate Lobby is we have come out publicly in opposition to a policy, which is a departure from a decades-long trend of being supportive of good policy. We came out in opposition of bad policy, and in the chat, Virginia's put a link to CCL's public comment posing rescission of the endangerment finding by the EPA. And then we came out in support of the American forests, the Fix Our Forest Act. And there's another link, I believe, in the chat that takes you to a coalition letter of 22 organizations that CCL has joined with to urge support of the Fix Our Forest Act. It's in the Senate, and we can talk about that a little more later on. It's Senate Bill 1462. And I think that's what we have on policy updates. And are we at the next slide, you ask? Maybe I jumped ahead a slide. I think I did. National updates and actions. Yes. The endangerment funding, the Fix Our Forest Act. And the other thing that's a biggie right now in Congress, and I'm no expert, so really can't talk authoritatively about the thing called budget reconciliation. I think it's not going as well. Perhaps it's having expected difficulties between the Republicans and the Democrats. So that's a work in progress. And when that bill is put to bed, and the deadline is September 30th, as I understand it, then we think we'll move into the Fix Our Forest Act in the Senate and perhaps other things. Okay, so Karina, if you're finished your early supper, which I hope you are, you are totally welcome to come on in and talk to us a little bit about this wonderful inclusion conference that's coming up in a week.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad I showed up.
Yeah.
So yes, we are still doing the back end of the planning work for the inclusion conference. It's ready to go. We have 198 people registered so far as of Monday. Normally when I'm looking at registration numbers, I'm counting half of the people showing up because that's normally what happens sometimes. So my goal is to be able to increase that registration number a little bit more in the next couple of days. So I'll be sharing in social media a little bit about the speakers to get people excited about them. We added one more person to the speaker lineup. So if you heard of Clara Fan before, Clara's going to come. She was already part of the breakout sessions, but we had a little bit of a change in the schedule. So we asked Clara to fill in for someone who couldn't make it. So she's going to do her breakout session, put it in the big room for everybody else, and that is on Saturday the 27th. We are starting on Friday night at 7, and it's a reception. And I keep on thinking in Eastern time. So 7 o'clock Eastern, which is 1 o'clock Hawaii time. Just a way for us to connect with each other. We're going to have games. We're going to have opportunity for people to just come and connect. I usually say this conference is prepared and organized by Black, Indigenous, and people of color volunteers from CCL, but it is open to the entire CCL community because it's the purpose of it is to bring more awareness of the issues that those communities care about. So that's why this year we added the breakouts. So that people can go and learn and listen in on different topics of interest to different people. Some of those topics include faith, community gardening, food culture. I think there's going to be one session on gender issues. I think someone else is going to talk about health. So it's very interesting the topics that the community decided to focus on this year. But yeah, so please come and spend time with us. I know, being 6 hours on a Saturday, for the most part for us, 11:45 in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning, starting that early, it's a long time, but I promise it will be worthwhile. So please share this with your local chapters, and hopefully I can see some of you there.
And I think Noelle has a couple more slides there's our list of speakers.
There you go. Those are the speakers. So this is part of the presentation that I was giving on Saturday to sort of tell our volunteers these are the folks that are going to be there. Jacob Shores Arguello is going to be our first male poet. So if you've been around the conference, this is our 4th year. The first 2 years we had female poets. Last year we had a musician, and this time around we're having Jacob offer some wonderful poetry. He actually sent me the copy of what he's going to share with everybody yesterday, and it's just amazing. Vanessa is the person that won't be there live, but she's going to send us a message that I'm going to play for everybody there. Julian is coming back because of popular demand. He was there last year, and people loved him, that they wanted him again, and he said yes. Pamela Benson Owens had been around the CCL community for a couple of years as a consultant, mostly working with a lot of the staff, but she went to the PGM caucus one time, and we had a very interesting conversation about inclusion and belonging that people wanted to hear from her again. Someone who's new to our community is Yukeme. Yukeme was suggested to us by someone that volunteers with the Peace Corps, and she is doing some great community building in the city of Upper Arlington, Ohio, and we thought it would be very good for everybody to hear what she's up to and what she recommends to people.
Right. And then I think the last slide, I converted your time, Karina.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So,
So 1 o'clock we can make it on Friday. Saturday, 5 a.m. Yeah, there you go. And it's made a little more interesting because for some of us, there is a tabling event also on Saturday, which Noel is going to address, I think, later on in the meeting. What time does our event tabling start, Noel? Do you recall?
Yeah, it's a 10 to 2.
Okay. So that's
10
good
to
timing.
2. Okay. So yeah, if we're well organized, maybe we can make a bunch of this before we jump in the car and go to the tabling event.
That would be great. Remember
yeah.
that a lot of the sessions will be recorded. What's gonna count for me is live attendance, because I am counting on something for the purpose of trying to get more support for future inclusion conferences. The other thing that I can tell you is we do have a music playlist. So every year, the folks that organize this conference pick the theme, and then we go hunting for songs that reflect the theme. So this year's playlist includes 20 songs. They all were selected by the organizers, and we hope that you will enjoy it.
Ron, can you confirm the times? Is it truly 10 p.m.?
It is.
Should be a.m., right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a.m.
What is there a mistake on my slide?
Yeah, on the
it says p.m. instead of a.m. because I'm still doing when I did the slides I was working on.
I missed that. Okay. So Virginia, you've got it in the chat, right? And in the chat,
yes,
Ron, the slide tweaker here, got it correct. So
in the chat it is correct.
Yeah, so please put it correctly. Thanks for pointing that out. Okay. Now, fix our forests. Okay. I've got a couple of slides and there's some links in the chat. But briefly, what happened here for those who just need a reminder, House of Representatives bill, and please never let anybody confuse you what HR stands for. Does not stand for House Resolution, as it does in the Hawaii State Legislature and maybe many others. Doesn't stand for that at all. It stands for House of Representatives as opposed to S for Senate. So this is not a resolution. This is a bill for an act, HR 471. Passed the House by a large majority. Most of them are almost all Republicans, with I think some 50 or 60 Democrats. It's now in the Senate, and it's going to be heard by the Agricultural Committee. And the Agricultural Committee is being focused on by Citizens Climate Lobby. Anybody who happens to have a senator who's on this committee are being urged to write to that person and tell them, hey, we like Forest Act. Okay. Hawaii does not have any, our two senators, Schatz and Hirono, do not serve on the Ag Committee. So if you try to take the monthly action to email about the Fix Our Forest Act, you'll get a nice little message, right, Keith?
Yes, I tried that.
Yeah, I did too. And it says this action is not available for your district at this time. Thank you for trying. You'll get another chance when this bill comes out of committee and goes back to the Senate, the full Senate, for a floor vote. And then I expect, Bill, you might confirm that CCL will be messaging all senators at that time.
Yep.
Both.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. But the action right now, if you are in a state like Hawaii that doesn't have a senator in the agriculture or the agricultural committee, then what we are asking is that volunteers, if they can, comment and share on social media posts. And if you go to that action, the Fix Our Forest action, it should direct you to the page that provides the social media posts that you can just click on and add to your own profile or your own page. So just a reminder that you can do that too.
Bill, let me ask you if it's possible. Would you be able to put a link in the chat to that? Did you say Fix Our Forest Action Group?
Yeah, it's. I'll put a link in the chat for the action, which is. Let me just put it in the chat for you. But if you go to this link, it's going to ask you to contact your senators, which you have to click on that, and then it'll go to a page that will redirect you to the page that has the social media posts.
Oh, good. Okay.
And I'll put the link to the action in the chat here just right now.
Very good. There we go, Karina, champion. Okay, so just quick bullet overviews here. This is nowhere near a complete list, but it simplifies and expedites, critical forest management, while maintaining strong environmental standards, reduces delays, and especially due to what is often called frivolous litigation, which can be staged and drag out things for years, basically stalling them to death. It fosters community input early and often, and adds new ways for communities to weigh in, boosts the pace and scale of forest management, and gives certain agencies emergency tools. If your forest's about to burn down, you can't wait for a whole raft load of approvals. You've got to get out there and make a fire break or do what you can. And it invests in better fire detection, suppression, and other things. So that's that slide, and I think I got carried away. Maybe Noellen added another slide on the same subject, which I think we've covered more or less already. Bill, thanks for that. Coming events. Okay, did we get our AMs and PMs correct here? Who knows? October monthly call is on October 11th. And that is correct, I believe, 7 a.m. As one of our public radio announcers used to say, best way to have a long weekend, get up early on Saturday morning. So there you have it. And then our CCL conference in November. And thanks to Bill, appreciate that, Bill. Bill got us an email that goes to the 3 state coordinators that we have, which is volunteer, Noel, Paul Bernstein, and myself. And so if you send an email with your name and your willingness to participate in a Zoom meeting, that's the email. And I'd encourage you to please do that, maybe right now if you can, because we want to make sure that email is working. And Noel points out that the monthly call in November will be adjusted. Do not conflict. And then we have a live informational session every Wednesday. And Ruth, thank you for reaching out to that new person, a high school student, I think you said, class president. And I noticed that she did attend this Wednesday informational session. So she followed through. Appreciate you contacting her. Another beaut here is carbon pricing around the world. Danny Richter. We sometimes hear from, what would you say, naysayers. Carbon pricing doesn't work. They repealed it in Canada. They repealed it in Australia. Well, there's some truth to both of that. But Danny Richter is a researcher under contract, I understand, with CCL, former staffer, and he's going to have a training tomorrow at 2 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. So that'll be real interesting. What I did not have room to put on there, we'll get to endangerment in just a minute. This Friday, which is, again, on the 19th, there is a book discussion group which is going to take a chapter of Amanda Ripley's book, High Conflict, and it's going to review it. And section by section with comments and interactions and so forth. And I have to say, I don't have to say, but I will say that the accused killer of Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson, was reported as sending a text message to his transgender roommate partner, romantic involvement there, saying, you can't negotiate out of this anger. And I'm going, wow, I can understand somebody thinking that way. I wonder what Amanda Ripley thinks about that. So anyway, Friday, if you go to Citizens Climate Lobby, you'll be able to find and join that discussion group. Can we negotiate our way out of huge conflict? Endangerment funding. Okay. This endangerment funding, just to recap very quickly, is a revision of something that came about in 2009. And it said that greenhouse gases, particularly carbon dioxide, are a danger and a threat to human safety and well-being. And the current EPA says we don't like that. Our president has told us he doesn't like it, and so we're going to rescind it, which means cancel it. And so a lot of people, I think they had over 90,000 submissions, and the huge majority, based on what I saw, in opposition to canceling that 2009 finding. And CCL sent a nice, very well-written opposition statement, and I think a link to that is in the chat. And September 22nd, which is this coming Monday, is an opportunity for all of us. It used to be September 15, but they extended it a week, and it's now the 22nd. So you can still put your 2 cents worth in there. Hawaii updates. I think what happens now pretty soon is we go to others that know more about this than I do. So go ahead, please.
Yeah, so just a few updates here. So Climate Future Forum, this is a group that Paul Bernstein is helping to facilitate, continues to recruit adult mentors and student leaders for the upcoming session. There's also an effort to define complementary metrics to quantify emissions. And I'm not sure if we have anybody actively working on this. Ron, you are, right? So this is the latest status. We're waiting for feedback from HEG. Is that correct on this one?
Yeah, Hawaii Green Growth. We've submitted a proposal that fills in a lag. The wonderful Hawaii Department of Health does an exhaustive process to measure greenhouse gas emissions, and they follow the United Nations protocol, international protocol in doing that. However, the Department of Health's most recent report, which is 2025, includes data from their most recent emission study, which happens to be 2022, right? So we're looking back 2+ years. And what we'd like to do is we would like to have a measure which indicates what are we doing in 2023? What are we doing in 2024? And are we on track to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions in a year-on-year basis? Because 2022 is starting to look like what you see in a binoculars when you turn them around backwards and look in the big lens and look out the small lens, starting to get to be history. So what we've done is said, why don't we, instead of, well, in addition to doing the wonderful work to tally up all our emissions, why don't we just say, how much fossil fuels are we importing into Hawaii each year? And we've got those figures all the way through 2024 and half of 2025. So we can see, since all those fossil fuels are going to be burned and produce emissions, that actually we're not yet on a drawdown. We may be on a plateau, and that would be great versus continuing up. If we're on a plateau, what we hope is we'd start to have a downward trajectory, and that's, I think, essentially what's necessary. And we're working with others, Green Growth Hawaii and the Aloha Challenge webpage, to try to make that publicly known.
Great. Thanks, Ron. The last item on here is just it's a regular item on this page. It's carbon cashback. So the team, our carbon cashback team, has expanded our policy scope. So it's not just about carbon cashback, but other relevant policies, which we're hoping to use to engage other environmental groups that are interested in those policies. And then as a result, also encourage support of carbon cashback. There are weekly meetings to discuss this. I want to put a spotlight on an event coming up on the 20th at 3:30 p.m. This is a Sunday activity, Climate Action versus Greenwashing webinar. There's a link there to register and join, and that is coming up. Other activities, this 27th, which is, I think we mentioned this before, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., big event annually that a number of groups, including a nonprofit that I lead, puts up. This year we have quite a few organizations. You can see there on the slide, and then we have media. I'll turn this over now to Virginia.
Okay. Well, we had two great pieces of media published today. So one was the Sunday op-ed. Wow. Yeah, and it was published right on the opinion page, which is the first page where they have they call local views, and right next to the editorial. So it was prominently placed in the Star Advertiser. So that was really great to see. And then right below it, for the letters to the editor, the very first letter was Sophia's about her idea of a displacement incentive to boost EV adoption. And it would, it proposes an incentive to people who switch from their gas cars to their EVs, and the incentive would be based on how much emissions their current gas car produces. And so she suggested at the end of the letter that some of the proceeds from a carbon cashback could be used to fund this incentive. So,
Right.
And then earlier in the month, we had a letter by Cynthia Conrad and Bobby Best kind of together, urging carbon cashback. Really good letter that appeared in the Honolulu Star Advertiser. And then we had Chelsea's op-ed. It was very powerful first-person op-ed based on her experiences being very close to the Lahaina fires and housing friends and family during the fire, and how it really inspired her to go on and become very active in the climate change movement to support policies. And she likes carbon cashback as one of those policies. So that's in her op-ed.
Wow, that's fabulous work.
Yeah, I also want to do a quick call out the fact that both Chelsea and Sophia are high schoolers, right?
Yes, they are.
Yep.
Chelsea lives on Maui, and Sophia is in Hawaii Kai on Oahu.
Yeah.
They're very well spoken, and they also can write very powerful letters and op-eds.
Now Paul is not with us, but I'm sure he'll watch the entire recording, and I just want to applaud his effort here in mentoring our youth. I think he's done a fabulous job.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul.
And for those who maybe are not subscribers to the Hawaii Star Advertiser, Honolulu's biggest newspaper, daily newspaper, in the chat, Virginia has put, I believe, links to Citizens Climate Lobby Hawaii webpage. And on that webpage, these letters can be read in full. Right, Virginia?
Well, I'll do that now.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah. So those links are coming your way very quickly. And then where do we go next?
Right. So October is going to be a busy month for us. The Carbon Cashback with the youth from Climate Future Forum, the two mentioned youth and others, Chelsea and Sophia Park will be joining on different days. But we have over a dozen meetings scheduled in the first 2 weeks of October. 10 of those are in person with legislators and staff. We're going to be reaching out to over 15% of the sitting legislators in the House and Senate in the first 2 weeks of October. And the youth will be joining us, and they will be working on I think the next slide has some of the next slides has expanded, maybe the expanded messaging. No, it's slide after. But the youth will be joining us, promoting their own legislative priorities and their own legislative policy ideas, as well, side by side with carbon cashback, if appropriate, and depending on the legislator. And then we did have some success 2 weeks ago talking to the minority caucus leader here in the Hawaii House, who said she was interested in balcony solar and got an earful on balcony solar and would take that to the rest of her the GOP caucus. So that's the outreach we're doing for carbon cashback under the name of carbon cashback.
Yeah, and Doug, thanks for mentioning that in that manner, because many of the volunteers with Citizens Climate Lobby are very aware of CCL's guidelines about staying in our lane as a national organization. And this is a way that CCL volunteers can join a very like-minded organization known as Carbon Cashback Hawaii and present legislative testimony as that organization and not kind of muddy the waters with other national things that evidently has happened or can happen. And other states have similar organizations. I think Virginia just mentioned Climate Future California, which is a similar state-focused climate organization with many CCL volunteers. So just to clarify.
So one thing to note before we move on is, and Doug, thanks so much for leading this effort and involving our youth, because I believe it's actually getting them the confidence and the practice so that when we actually have lobby days with Congress, the same folks are actually involved. And they, with that confidence and that practice, they can actually be even more effective in that much bigger stage. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. That's great.
This is the standard slide for endorsing carbon cashback. I think most of the folks on this call have seen this. Yeah.
Okay.
And then these are the standing meetings. These are standing carbon cashback meetings. If anyone wants to join them.
Yeah, and Virginia, they don't have a nice, what would you say, highlighted heading, but the comments that are under that slide, carbon cashback, local carbon fee and dividend, if you would be so kind, they could go in the chat too. And, let me just say, bandwidth is often a limitation for us very active advocates. And personally, I am not able to attend a good number of the carbon cashback meetings, but I did attend one. When was that? On the 15th, 2 days ago on Monday. And I got to say, I was just blown away by Doug and Paul and Tom and John and others. And I made a list as that meeting was going on, a bill to allow solar panels on condo balconies so that condo owners can collect free sunlight, right? A bill from the State Energy Office, 2 bills, a House bill and a Senate bill, and where carbon cashback is going to be commenting on that. Doug's organized, and we had a slide on that, October 8th and the 14th, lobbying in Honolulu in person. Comments are available now. I mean, comments can be sent now to the Climate Commission, Climate Action Pathway, if that's the correct title. And Noel has produced a newsletter draft, and a bunch of members went to a big deal meeting where there was a huge number of environmental, energy conscious people. It was called the Tax Fairness Coalition meeting. And they're going to vote on a dozen or so proposals that were made at that meeting and come up with the top 4. And I'm going, wow, I didn't know any of that stuff was going on, but it is. So this team has depth in when you look at carbon cashback and Citizens Climate Lobby Hawaii. So thank you, Doug and Noel and all of you who work in that area. And Karina,
Yes.
before I call on you, let me just say hi to Helen's partner, John, in the background there. John, good to see you.
John.
Thanks for being here and representing Hawaii. Yeah. So Karina, yeah, please go ahead. Comments.
2 things. 1, can I take a screenshot of this meeting?
Absolutely.
You what?
I want to take a screenshot.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right.
I see.
So let's do that. Okay, ready? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, one more just in case. 1, 2, and 3. And the other thing I wanted to request is for someone to give me access to CCL Hawaii. I am happy to make posts because there's a lot of wonderful work that is being done here that is not being shared. So if you give me access to the Instagram account, I am happy to help whenever I have some downtime and put some information out there for other people to just learn about what is taking place.
Oh, okay. I can send you the login.
Thank you.
For the Instagram account.
Thank you. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be great, Karina. Thanks so much.
Yes.
And
yay.
Anybody else? Comments? Closing comments? Boy, we're ahead of the game here. It's not even 6 o'clock. Gosh darn.
Well, I'll just add with balcony solar. Yes, it's nice to shave a little bit off your electric bill here in Hawaii because they are quite expensive here in the middle of the Pacific. There's also a resilience aspect to balcony solar. Should the power go out or you're asked to shelter in place, balcony solar is actually a tremendous tool to keep your phone and other things kind of going. So I think this is an excellent initiative. They're doing it in Germany, so I think this is a real asset for everybody to have, one in an emergency kit, but also have some balcony solar, even homeowners and renters alike. This is a good thing.
Keith, do you know if provision of batteries is kind of a feature of the balcony solar movement or the bill?
I would suspect so. Yeah.
Yeah. You can purchase a battery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Batteries don't have to be huge. I've got one here, and it's an amazing thing. It lights up and it tells you, I've got power on this thing, and this will charge my phone multiple times at night when there's no solar. So this is a little Samsung battery pack. Doesn't have to be a big honking Powerwall necessarily. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Rena,
folks,
can you send me your email? Sorry. Can you send me your email, Karina, so I can send you the information by way of email? I think it might be.
And did everybody get a chance to use that nice email that Bill Barron brought to our attention today? Hawaii.citizensclimatelabi@gmail.com. Helen Koch tried to log and it said it couldn't. And to let you know, okay, I'll research that and try to see what happened, Helen. And I'll do it manually if it didn't do it automatically for both of you. Okay, Doug, any final comments? Nope. Okay. So we've got to wait a while for Sunday, but remember, biking, swimming, friends, reading a book, all those good things. Have fun for the rest of your week. Thank you so much for being here. You are keeping our organization alive, and very much appreciated. So